Hello, my name is Jan Bariki and I'm an animation student currently attending Sheffield Hallam University. I've just been to Sheffield DocFest, which is a big deal right now in my city of Sheffield. It's been marketed everywhere. What is it? Well, it's a documentary festival that showcases new and old documentaries. So it's a chance for new filmmakers to show their work and a chance for people to see classic documentaries. It's been an amazing experience, and some of you are probably wondering, hang on, you're an animation student, why are you attending a documentary festival? Well, here's the thing, I don't just love cartoons. I also love live action film, radio, literature, painting, sculptures, art installations. I love all kinds of mediums of art and entertainment. And I adore documentaries. If I'm honest, I actually watch more documentaries than I watch cartoons because I'm fascinated by people in the creative industry, and I'm fascinated by people's lives and careers, and I love to look at the intimate and candid works of people's contributions to industries and everyday people. I like to see the lives of everyday people as well, so I'm fascinated about people. And I'm fascinated about controversies and historical moments, especially in the film industry, in the animation industry. I love to look back on things like that. And I've also watched a documentary on a documentary. That's how obsessed I am with documentaries. I adore them. So, yeah, it's been a wonderful experience, such a great atmosphere, and everyone seems like they're excited, and everyone's chatting to each other, saying like, oh, I saw this film, you gotta go and see it, oh, so good. And it's been a chance for me to meet filmmakers there, and meet one of my heroes, film critic Mark Kermode. So, first of all, I'm going to talk about the films that I went to see. Now, one of the first ones I went to see was a film called Project Wild Thing. Now, Project Wild Thing is a documentary on a campaign that filmmaker David Bond started. He wanted to encourage children to go out and experience nature. And he wanted to encourage parents to encourage their children to go and experience nature. And it was a great documentary. I really loved it. I felt really engaged in the movie because of David Bond, the director and the presenter of the movie, the guy that was trying to start off this campaign. Because he was such a great screen presence. He was funny, he was energetic, charismatic, so it was. I think he was the centre of the film. Project Wild Thing's best aspect is David Bond. He really encapsulates the film and really gets you interested in his campaign. And he adds humour to the film. He is the best thing about it. But at the same time, he helps you see things from his perspective and why he's worried about this thing, why he's concerned about his children's well-being and why they're not engaged in the nature. And it also makes you think, wait, hang on, yeah, nature's amazing, I want to go and check it out a bit more. And it made me kind of question my own life and think, wait, I do spend a lot of time with technology, I should start spending some time with nature as well. So I really enjoyed the movie, and I spoke to David afterwards because he was doing a Q&A, and I spoke to him after the film and I said, look, I loved your movie. I'm happy to get involved with this campaign, I have to get involved with anything else you make, and so I've got in contact with him, so hopefully I'll be able to work with him in the future. So yeah, Project Wild Thing. If you get the chance to see it at a local festival, or if you see it come out on DVD, go and check it out, because it's really uplifting, really humorous, really entertaining, really great movie. What else did I watch? I also watched a documentary called The Man Whose Mind Exploded, which was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Here's the thing, I loved all the movies I went to see at this festival, all of them. We were given these things to kind of sign, which were essentially a poll for the audience award of the festival. And maybe I was being a bit too generous, but the thing was, I voted masterpiece on everyone I saw. But if I'm honest, I felt that way. All these films were masterpieces. I really did. I really loved every one of them. and they all gave me something afterwards. But here's the thing, Man Whose Mind Exploded is about a really interesting fellow called Draco. Now, Draco is about 70 or so, and he wears piercings, interesting makeup, tattoos all over him, and he's incredibly flamboyant, has a love for life, but he's also got memory loss. And so he's decorated his entire room with things that can help him remember his life. And what makes the documentary so wonderful is him, Draco, and his philosophy on life and his love for life. Despite having brain damage, he still feels engaged in life and still loves it, and at the same time he's an interesting guy. He's not a perfect guy, he's a human being. He's got flaws. He's very stubborn, very selfish, very self-involved. I mean, like, he won't let anyone who comes into his flat change anything or touch anything. He doesn't like that. Very reclusive, but at the same time he does pop out sometimes. And it's also about the filmmaker and his relationship with his subject. And it's really great because it's very honest and shows you everything, as a documentary should. It doesn't gloss over anything, it doesn't switch the cameras off at any point, it shows you everything in it. And the director, his approach to interviewing was so amazing because he didn't hold himself back. If he had something in his mind, if he was curious about something, he would ask it. And I felt jealous almost, because like, I want to be that great at interviewing, I really do. Because he's not afraid, he really just asks everything. At the same time, he cracks jokes, and he feels comfortable cracking those jokes because he has a great relationship with his subject, Draco. So yeah, I really enjoyed the movie, really enjoyed it. And the thing is, yes, it's all handheld, and he uses a variation of different kinds of cameras to make the movie. So on a technical level, no, it's not visually, whoa, but on an emotional level, it's stunning. There's so much substance to it, and there's just so many things you can gain from watching it. It's just a wonderful movie, and it really is about the people on screen. It's about Draco's family. It's about the director. It's about Draco himself. See, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I happened to catch the director after one of the screenings of films I went to see, and I said, "Look, I really enjoyed your movie. Really enjoyed it." And I was like, I told him about myself, and it was really great. I said, I really enjoyed that movie. And the thing was, he gave me his contact, so I'm hoping to at some point interview him, and I'd love to work with him as well, because I just love his interviewing style, and his filmmaking style is just brilliant. So yeah, that was The Man Whose Mind Exploded. I also went to see Hearts of Darkness, a filmmaker's Apocalypse, which is a classic documentary. It's considered the best of the best when it comes to films about films. I've been meaning to watch it for a long time. It's a behind-the-scenes look at the classic war movie, Apocalypse Now, which I've only just seen recently, actually. So there was a bit of a connection because it was a recent experience. And I loved Hearts of Darkness. I really, really enjoyed it so much. It's the kind of movie that I tend to watch the most, which is film on film. I love movies about movies, and especially the behind-the-scenes look at it. It's a very candid movie, very intimate, and it shows you what lengths a filmmaker will go, and the unorthodox methods that they will take, and the risks, the sacrifices, and the consequences of those choices, those creative choices, and the effects that they have on the human mind. And what we're essentially watching is a director go mad, and that's great cinema. That is really great cinema. You're watching a human being lose their mind, but at the same time express their passion and their determination to get their movie done. And the times when they feel low, the times when they feel high and inspired, the times when they feel like they're going to give up, and So it's a really great movie. At the same time, it's not just a movie that looks at the methods that the filmmaker takes, Francis Ford Coppola takes. It's also the methods that the actors take. For example, Martin Sheen, who plays the main character, for a scene he got drunk. He actually got drunk for the scene, and he immersed himself in this moment, in this character, went inside his psyche, and Francis Ford Coppola let the camera roll, and just let Martin Sheen do his thing, while also directing him. And so he was in the moment, and it really shows you the power of film. Not only the power of film, but also the effect that filmmaking can have on a human being. So it's really great. You can probably see it. Most likely you can see it. So get hold of it on DVD, because it's a great movie. Really great. Now, one of the main attractions for me at Sheffield Docfest was the fact that film critic Mark Kermode was going to come down for a Q&A and screen one of his documentaries, Fear of God. To me, Mark Kermode is one of the greatest critics around today. I have so much respect for him. The way that he looks at film, the way he respects film, is so inspiring. At the same time, he's done so much for the film industry, and he's saved a lot of films, he's helped restore a lot of films, and so he's a great contribution to the film industry, and the way he looks at film, the way he looks at gimmicks, the way he looks at censorship. I love the way that he looks at censorship. And here's the thing, if you want to know a bit more about Kermode's perspective on censorship, then check out his short documentary called Eyes Wide Open. It's fantastic. I'm sure you can check it out on YouTube. It's really great. So that was the main thing for me. I wanted to go and meet Mark Kermode. I wasn't sure what I was going to say to him. So he screened Fear of God, and I've seen Fear of God before, many times before, but this was a special cut of the movie because it showed a bit more things, and it was an extended feature cut. And I think I might as well review it. Despite having seen it before, I should talk about it a bit more. So Fear of God is a behind-the-scenes look at the movie The Exorcist, which is Mark Kermode's favourite movie. I mean, his favourite movie. He's obsessed with it. He's seen it about 30 or 40 times. He adores it. And so it's a great documentary, really one of the best behind-the-scenes documentaries in my opinion, really great, because he manages to talk to so many different people, and you really get an idea of the film's importance and its place in history, and the documentary really paints a picture. And as I keep saying, as I keep commenting on these other films, it's an honest documentary because it shows the director, William Friedkin, it shows his methods. There's a great connection here. There's a bit of a connection to Hearts of Darkness with Fear of God, because like Coppola, William Friedkin has really unorthodox methods. I mean, like, methods that are even wilder than Coppola's. He will shoot off a gun on set to inspire an actor. That's how wild he's nuts, and he'll push an actor. He'll slap an actor around the face if they're not doing the right performance he wants. He's that mad. So it's a great documentary because it shows you Friedkin at his worst and at his best, and shows you what lengths a filmmaker has to go, and shows that a filmmaker sometimes does have to be a dickhead to get the film he wants, which I can understand and can relate to. Sometimes you can't be nice to make a good movie. Sometimes you really have to be a monster. You really have to really be aggressive and really push your actors. And there are times when being polite is not an option. So yeah, it's not just that. It shows you the perspectives of all the actors. It shows you how the makeup was done, and it shows you how the effects were done, and the effect that the film had on the public, the impact it had, and its legacy it's left behind. So yeah, Fear of God was shown, and then there was a Q&A with Mark Kermode, and I remember him coming down the aisle, and my heart was like, oof. It was the first time I saw my hero walking down the steps, and I was like, whoa, whoa. And I mean, I've met a lot of my heroes before, but like the presence he had in the room was just so inspiring. There was a glow from him. There really was a glow from him. Not just because he had this enormous, recognizable stature, but because of his passion when he was talking about film, talking about Exorcist. My God, when he talks about The Exorcist, he really dives into it, and you can really see how much he loves that movie, how much he adores The Exorcist. And I really envy that he has so much passion for that one film. I mean, like, I do love film, I adore film, but I can't pick that one film that I feel that involved in, that connected to. I don't think there's ever been a movie that I've watched 30 times and can write about to death and to talk about to death and feel as if I can go out and find out more about that. So yeah, he was just a great presence in that room, and you could tell that everyone there was there for him and respected him, because everyone was asking all these wonderful questions, and like the whole time I was like, I can't ask anything. Everyone's asking these really great questions. I've got nothing to ask. I was like, I don't know, but like everyone's got these great questions, and it's like, my favourite question that someone asked was, what did he think were the flaws of The Exorcist, and the things he revealed were great, because like, I wanted to see, like, so what were the things he thought were bad about his favourite movie. That's a lot to ask someone. So like his response was fantastic. So yeah, no, it was great. And so after the Q&A, I had a chance to go up to him, and my heart again, and I was like, okay. I went up to him, and I kind of forgot my book. I owned a book. I owned one of his books here, actually, and I was gonna ask him to sign it, but I thought, you know what, I can't carry this about all the way. But as soon as everyone queued up to go and see him, I saw everyone got their books out. So, oh, everyone's got a copy of one of Mark Hammer's books. Why didn't I bring a book? And so I was like really annoyed. I was like, okay, right, fine. You can sign my ticket. So I went. And I was at the back of the queue. We're going by. I finally got to me, and my heart was like, and like my legs were like gelling. I was like, oh. I was like shaking. I was shaking. And I gave him my ticket. My hand was shaking. I gave him my ticket, and I was like, I didn't know what to say at first. I really did not know what to say at first. So I handed my ticket, and he said, "Have you got a pen?" I was like, oh. I haven't got a pen. So he was turning around and said, "No one got a pen." And someone gave him a pen, and he was writing. I didn't know what to say at first. I was like stuck. Pen. The whole time I didn't know what to say. I was just talking gibberish. And luckily he turned to me and said, "So what's your name?" Because you had to sign the ticket with someone's name. It had to be mine. So I was like, "James, and I'm such a big fan of yours, and your book inspired me to start interviewing celebrities." I was like, and like, it was just amazing. You signed my ticket, and I ended up walking up the aisle with him. Up the aisle, he was talking to me about how he started interviewing people, and like, I didn't get the chance to talk about the fact that I do reviews. I didn't get the chance because I was walking up the aisle, and I was in a moment of ecstasy. I was in this wonderful moment. I was meeting my hero up a cinema aisle, and like, he was telling me about interviewing. I was like, oh my. This is amazing. I'm never going to get an experience like this again. I don't want anyone to ruin this experience. But then someone said, "Mark, you've got to go and meet this guy." And I was like, "No, don't take this moment from me." And I was like, "No." So that was the last I saw of him. I didn't get to talk to him about the fact of me reviews. I felt as if like, I wish I had more time with him. That extra 5-10 minutes with him. But the problem he had to go off and see other people. I had to go and see other screens. So it was unfortunate. But that moment, that experience was just wonderful. Because trust me, don't be afraid to meet your heroes, because it's a great experience, really rewarding experience. Right, so that was the Fear of God experience for me. It was more about meeting Kermit than the actual documentary that night. And now we come to the last film I saw at the festival, the film I've just seen tonight, which is I Am Divine. Now, I have an emotional connection to this movie because not only am I a Divine fan, but when I heard that they were going to make a documentary about Divine, I was amazed. I was like, oh, yeah, this is brilliant. But the problem was they needed funding. And I was like, no, yeah, you need funding, you need to make this film has to be made, people need to know about Divine, I want to know about Divine, I want to know more about him. And so I even got to a point where I was about to fund the project, but they couldn't take pounds, they couldn't take English money, so I couldn't contribute, and so it was just a right downer. And then they finally finished the movie, and I'd been following them on Facebook, and they kept updating, saying, yeah, we're in this state in America now, we're just showing the film in Texas, and I was like, get to the UK, please just get to the UK, show the film in the UK. So, the other attraction of Sheffield Doc Fest for me was not just Kermit, but the screening of I'm Divine, because I've been waiting to see it for so long. And so it was a big deal for me. Now, Divine, for those of you who don't know, was a drag queen in the 70s, 80s, and he was a big star, really big star. And he was known for being in underground movies, the underground movies of a filmmaker called John Waters. And he had this hypnotizing screen presence when he was in his roles. He would wear these really colourful, flamboyant costumes, wigs, makeup, really. And like, not only did his look steal the show, but his performances steal the show. He had so much energy in his performance, so much flamboyance, so much camp attitudes. And so, like, ever since I saw Divine and watched his movies, I've been completely in love with him and his work. And as soon as I heard there was a Divine documentary, I had to go and see it. And I'm also a massive fan of John Waters as well. It's hard to explain what makes John Waters' movies so great. I mean, they're mean-spirited, they're cruel, they're really horrible. They're horrible movies, but there's something about them. Somehow they're funny, in a black comedy sense. Somehow there's something really darkly comic about the movies, despite them being so aggressive and being so cruel and so disgusting and grotesque. There's something funny about them at the same time. It's the way they're written and performed. It's the characters. It's the world that John Waters creates that you feel engulfed in. So despite the fact that his films have such a harsh environment, such horrible characters, his films remain interesting and exciting and engaging. So, I'm Divine. Finally got a chance to see it, and here's my opinion on it. Wow! And just wow! It really lived up to my expectations. And when I was watching it all the way through, I was challenging it in my head. I was thinking, okay, I want you to cover this, I want to cover that, and like halfway through the film, I was like, it's not going to cover this thing that I want to cover, and it did. It covers everything to do with Divine's life, his identity, his gender, his career, his love life, his family, his relationship with John Waters, his relationship with his co-stars, his feelings, his thoughts, his impact on history, his impact on the industry. Everything. It covers everything. So to me, I think that I'm Divine is the perfect example of how to do a biographical movie of a movie star, because it does cover everything. It covers all the films he was in, and it covers so many things. I mean, like, I didn't even know how big he was. This really enlightened me on the scale of his fame at the time, the enormous impact he had on the culture at the time. I never knew. And he was involved with so many other things, not just films. He was involved with plays and just theatre performances and music performances, so many different things. He tried so many different things, and he was an amazing man. Really amazing man. Obviously completely nuts, absolutely nuts, and he loved to perform, and he loved to entertain, and he loved the screen, he loved to be on screen, he loved the camera, and he wanted to be a movie star, and he really soaked up all that energy that the public gave him, that his co-stars gave him, and like, yes, he was, of course, a flawed man. So yeah, he wasn't a perfect man. He was not someone to put up on a pedestal. He was not. He was no Princess Diana. He was no Mother Teresa. But his influence on culture, on film, and the legacy left behind is something to look over. I mean, here's the thing. He started off as a drag performer in Baltimore, but became one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. So just think about this. If someone like that, someone who not many people would expect to be on the Hollywood screen, can start off from the middle of Baltimore doing underground schlock movies in drag, can go all the way to Hollywood co-starring with Ricki Lake and Tab Hunter. That's inspiring. That's a real inspiring thing, to think that an outsider can come into the mainstream. I mean, like, when people say to me, like, oh, there's no way I can, like, get out there and make myself, but there's no way I can become famous, it's no way, no. Look at Divine. Look at the way the Divine affected the culture at the time, and the impact that he left, and the thing that he gained despite how unusual he was, and how striking his persona was. So, yeah, I'm really glad that I attended Sheffield Dogfest, because there's so much that I got out of it, so much that I got out of it. Really did enjoy it. I'm totally going to go next year. So I'm just mind blown, if I'm honest. I'm mind blown. There was so many things that I really generated from it. I really did get so much out of it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I know that I'm quite right now, a bit hyper, but like, that's the effect it's had on me. It's really bounced into me. I want to go and create now. I want to go and make things. I want to go and try things. I want to go and have a go at things. So yeah, I encourage you all to go to Sheffield Dogfest next year, if you didn't go this year, because it's wonderful. See you guys.